Welcome to the Sizzling Hot Plate with Andrew Thornton. First question, Andy. Andy, what are you cooking today?
Tonight, I'm cooking a Thai-inspired meal. For the entree, we have a Thai salad with prawns, and for the main, we have Thai red curry.
Cool. Do you think you have done enough to win this competition?
I think so. I'm thinking the ambience outside can speak for itself.
Who do you see as your biggest threat in this competition?
Definitely Barter. I think Will's also seen that in League 5.
Alright. If Callum did Muay Thai for another 6 months, do you think you could have taken him in a fight to the death?
Nah, Cal was getting too strong. We were all worried.
With other competitors going for dishes they are new to, do you feel you have an advantage sticking with something you have tried and tested numerous times?
Well, I've never made a curry from scratch before the paste, so I'm in some uncharted territory, so we'll see how it plays out tonight.
What do you feel is your biggest advantage and disadvantage for this competition?
Biggest advantage is by ambience. I think it's going to be nice outside. I'm looking forward to a great night. Biggest disadvantage would be making a dumb mistake.
Yeah, cool. Are you worried about having to sit any of your guests today and the scores they may give you? Are you worried about any of the...
Definitely Keith. I think there's going to be too many flavours. He's going to be overwhelmed. He's not going to know what's going on. And yeah, it's going to be hard.
Cool.
I'm worried about that one.
If you could set up a restaurant anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Melbourne, for sure.
Okay, cool. Who do you fear the most to taking your king title?
Sloth if he gets back.
Sloth, shit, wow, look out. After knocking Max out and also hooking up with a girl passing out of consciousness, is there any other avenues you have thought about exploring to try and exemplify the name of Knockout King?
I have no idea. No comment.
If little baby Jesus came to Yendon Road and entered your house and could see everything from the past, which room would you rather him not enter, the garage or your room?
Definitely my room. Definitely Mum's ensuite, Nick Barter.
Oh, wow, yeah. Alright.
We all know about that one.
Good way to turn that one. It's been a while since we have seen you do something that resembles your nickname Durr. What has changed?
Let's check. I don't know. I suppose I'm more level-headed than I am today.
Alright.
Yeah, still Durr moments.
Do you feel Nick Barter has somewhat of an advantage in your course at Melbourne because he goes around telling everyone that he is doing his masters?
Yes.
Yeah, has a slight advantage. If you could beat anyone in the world except yourself, who would you be?
Nick Barter, who went
Wow, yeah, doing masters, telling people. Alright, last question there. If Briggsy, who is poor, Dean, who is a vegetarian, and myself, who has poor directions, were in a race around the world, who would win and why?
Rags, he's just got the ability to get money. He's selling baking soda all across the world.
Alright, cool.
Make it.
Nice. Alright, thanks, Dan. That's been the Sizzling Hot Plate with Andy Thornton.
I got a candidate, fall to her gal, always. I got a candidate, fall to her gate.
Andy, how'd you go?
Adam, I think I did pretty well.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was happy with the way the food turned out. Enjoyed it, like I enjoyed eating it. I wouldn't change anything. I think the decor worked out.
So in the entree and the main, you wouldn't have changed one. Like, if you had to change one thing.
I don't know. I would have served the aioli with the meal.
Yeah.
That's one change.
Good start.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much I really would have. With the dishes I had, I wouldn't have really changed much with it. I feel like I catered towards people's tastes as well as I could have for the meals. I don't know. I think it was good.
Do you think you might have lost points or gained points from trying to make Dean a meat eater rather than a vegetarian?
I think gained points. Everyone's wanting Dean to eat some meat, and I slipped it in.
Yeah.
And now we all know he enjoyed it.
You did. I think you really did. What else? Do you think you've actually, now that everyone's had it and responded and the way we were talking at the table, do you think you can possibly win this competition?
Yeah, I think like Barter cooked a really good meal. But like with everyone, there's always room for error, and I'm sure I've have the same kind of room for error. But I just think decor was something that hasn't really been as strong in this competition. So hopefully that'll get me over the line. But I don't know. I'm pretty happy to just have a nice dinner and see where it goes.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Cheers, Copper.
Andrew, I gave you a 7 out of 10. I was really happy with the curry, and I thought the flavour of the prawn was absolutely spot on. Overall taste, I gave 8.5 out of 10.
Overall taste, 7 out of 10.
Overall taste, I gave Andy 8 out of 10.
The taste, I gave him 7.5.
Taste, out of 10. I gave Andy an 8.5.
The taste, I gave you a 7 out of 10.
Overall taste, I gave an 8 out of 10. I took 2 points off 1 point because of meat in my dish. So that was a big no-no for dinner. And the second one was I thought the curry paste was a bit too thick. And I generally prefer curry. What I like is to have it a bit more smoother so it can blend in with the rice.
Overall taste, I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Creativity 1.5 out of 3.
I gave him 2 out of 3 for creativity.
Creativity I gave him 1.5 out of 3.
Creativity, I gave 2.5 out of 3.
Creativity I gave him 2 out of 3.
Creativity, 2 out of 3. The Thai curry, the Andy's not very creative. The prawns were creative, but I didn't hate them.
Creativity, I've written down I've given it a 3 out of 3, but I'm starting to regret that. Look, I really did like the Thai theme. The entree matched the Thai theme. The main touch matched the Thai theme. The decor, which we'll get to later, matched the Thai theme. So, in terms of creatively, that's not a word, but sticking to his own agenda, criteria. Agenda's probably not the right word on it. I gave it a 3 out of 3.
I give you creativity I gave 2 out of 3. Creativity I gave you a 2 out of 3.
Skill, 2.5 out of 3.
Okay, skill 2 out of 3. Really didn't know how to go for this one, so I just said 2 out of 3.
Skill, I gave it a 2 out of 3. It was pretty skillful.
Skill 2.5 out of 3 to actually create the paste and to do all the sauce and everything. I think that's very skillful of him. Skill I gave you 2 out of 3. And for skill I gave you a 2.5 out of 3. That's a really good score. The prawn was cooked perfectly, and prawn's something that, 20 seconds more, it's overdone, 20 seconds less, it's underdone. So you did that really well. The skill I gave him a 2 out of 3. Skill I gave 3 out of 3 because plating I gave 3 out of 5.
Plating, I gave it a 3 out of 5. Plating, I gave him a 3.5 out of 5.
Placing 4 out of 5.
Plating, I gave him a 3.
3 out of 5 for plating. It looks pretty good. but I thought that could have almost been bowling because he served it in a bowl. Didn't look that great. Probably did. It was dark, too dark for me to see anyway.
Plating was 3.5 out of 5.
Plating 4 out of 5. The entree was plated really well, but I feel like the main was just in a bowl. I mean, that's not that creative.
Decor, yeah, hit the nail on the head, as one fine Sri Lankan once said.
Decor, I think he's going to be the only person in the competition who's beat me on decor. So I gave him a 3 out of 3, perfect marks. That was very nice ambiance.
Decor was a perfect 3 out of 3.
Decor, the nail on the head. I mean, what more do you want? Fairy lights, Thai music, you know, plant life, beers. It was terrific, really good.
Decor 2.5 out of 3. I mean, it was fantastic. Really nice candles, really nice, like music playing, but it was just a bit too dark when we were trying to eat the main.
Decor 2.5 out of 3. I really enjoyed being outside.
Decor, I gave him a 2. It was
And decor, I gave 3 out of 3.
Plating. So what do you think he could have done instead of the bowl? Do you think what would have you done if it was your dish?
I would have sprinkled something fruity and colourful on there or something like that.
But you said it was dark, so you probably wouldn't have seen that.
Well, yeah, actually that's the thing. It was dark. It was dark. That's where he fucked up.
Because it's at
He
night.
wanted to show us what he'd done.
So maybe more can. So maybe that goes to decor. So what'd you give him? You gave him
The
3 out of 3 for decor.
the
So.
decor was terrific. The darkness was awesome in terms of decor. I mean, it affected his plating score, but that didn't mean that it wasn't really great decor. I loved being there. Great setting. Better than any Thai restaurant I've ever been to, you know. And, okay.
Thanks, mate. Overall taste. Now you've knocked him down quite a bit. What would have you done differently to get him above Barter and Cow?
Saying a 7 out of 10 bad.
Well, compared to the other two.
The other two of an 8. Just
Yeah.
a point difference.
Yeah. So
So
why,
bad.
well, how does he get to 8.5 and above?
Well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it?
Well, that's why I'm asking you. $1
Maybe
million.
Maybe you should have gone 13 herbs and spices. I don't know what it was, but it just wasn't as tasteful as the lamb and curry.
Yeah, cool. So you thought that was 3 out of 3 creativity. That's as good as it gets for creativity. A shrimp and a Thai beer.
I think you're missing the point there.
Thanks, mate.
And would I turn vegetarian for a girl? Well, I'm already a vegetarian, so it's not
Would you
that
turn?
much of it.
Would you turn into a meat eater for a girl?
Would I turn into a meat eater for a girl? No.
What week of competition are we in?
3.
And so how many rounds of questions have we done?
3.
How come the questions are still terrible? That's a bit.
Something off the top of my head.
Cut.
You're gonna take the piss out of me. You're gonna take the piss out of me. Recipe flavour.
Out.
So, you know,